I'm Kieran Ramdwar. I'm the producer on Doctor Who, The Edge of Time.
So Kieran, you're right here at Comic-Con. What is Doctor Who, The Edge of Time?
So Doctor Who, The Edge of Time is a full-fledged feature-length VR game that's coming to PlayStation VR, Oculus, and Vive headsets this September.
Oh, wow. So what are you doing in this game? Because there's a lot of types of VR games.
Yeah, so in this you're playing as the Doctor's companion. She's been held at the edge of space and time by a new mysterious enemy. So she's being kept there, and she's contacted you as her companion through various mediums. So that's radio, hologram, TV, and she's going to be talking to you. So it's Jodie Whittaker, the 13th. I think that's right, the 13th Doctor. Yeah, and she's going to be guiding you through the experience and kind of helping you, talking to you to help you get through, to grab the items needed to help restore the universe and make it whole again, and help her out.
So at its core, it's a puzzle game.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you look back at the Doctor Who series, it's always been brain over bronze. So we've really looked at all of the core material and what works with it. There's going to be a lot of puzzles in there. There's quite a few levels that kind of have that escape the room feel. But we've varied up the gameplay. There's going to be stealth sections, action sections. So yeah, there's a big mix in there.
So talk about a little bit, what kind of enemies do you have in this game?
The trailer that we initially showed, we had the Hydrox, which are a new kind of enemy that we worked with the BBC to create. And then we've also got fan favorites like the Weeping Angels and the Daleks as well.
So the Weeping Angels are interesting because how does that work in a VR game? Because if you can't close your eyes, like they move. But if you're blinking, do you have sensors inside the VR headset?
So because of the different VR headsets, the way we've worked it is it's whether you're looking directly at them. So there's several puzzles that we've got where if you're you're going to have to do things where you're not facing towards them, but they are in your vicinity. So it's pretty tense when you're doing it. I can't really say a lot more, but yeah, it's pretty much where if you're looking at them, they're going to stay still. But as soon as you look away, they're going to jump towards you a bit.
So does this tie into the new season of the show at all?
So we're working with the BBC on this, and then obviously, like I said, Jodie's done all the voice work for it. I would kind of see it as its own standalone episode almost. So while it doesn't directly tie in with the latest season, it's set within the same universe and world that the Doctor and Jodie's in at the moment.
So talk about the BBC and your relationship. What do they provide you in terms of support to help make this game a reality?
So they've been really great to work with. One of the things that we've done is like making sure that we have everything from the Doctor Who universe as it should be. So for example, we went down to Cardiff, we went down to the set, did a bunch of scanning and photography to make sure that like the TARDIS and the interior is all authentic and just as you'd find it on the show. So everything down from the little knobs, levers, nooks and crannies on that console inside the TARDIS is exactly as you would see it in the show, down to the custard cream dispenser. And then other things as well, like we've worked with some of the people that worked on writing the show and things like that, again, just to make sure the authenticity is there and in line with what you'd find on a quality Doctor Who product.
Some people are very motion sensitive in VR. How are you handling locomotion in your game? I'm looking behind you and it looks like it's free motion, but are there alternative motion options?
Yeah, so we know that in VR, everyone feels a bit differently. Some people feel queasy doing teleporting, other people don't. So we've looked at the main different mechanics that you would have when you're moving around in a VR game, and we're going to have teleportation, smooth movement, and a little bit of, if you've ever played Skyrim, they've got that turning with the move controllers. We're going to have that as well, and then all of these things have little tweakable parts on it, so you can move faster or slower depending on how sick you get usually when you're playing VR.
What do you think it is about the Doctor Who franchise that has had it withstand the test of time all these years?
Oh, it's quintessentially British. So I think especially in the US, like it's when people look at it, it does feel like very British, very kind of old, polite. And I think like they've done a great job with the whole idea, just the whole idea that they initially have of the Doctor changing every time, right? So it doesn't feel like this weird transition when a new actor or someone does come in. And like I'm saying, it's brains over brawn, so it doesn't get boring because there's always going to be a new enemy that's going to come in, and there's always a smart way and something that the Doctor can do with their companions to kind of get through and save the universe.
Now, off the top of my head, I can't think of any Doctor Who video games. Maybe there have been some oddball ones. This is definitely the first VR one. But why do you think it's taken so long to make a Doctor Who video game or a mainstream video game?
I think just if you look at the nature of the BBC and where its roots lie, it's a public service, right? So if you look back in the last kind of 10 to 15 years, they've been working on more projects that are kind of commercially viable, so like private, so things like video games. And I think as time goes on, people have realized that video games as a medium are something that's quite important, and it's different, and it's a new way of kind of experiencing the franchise. So I think that's why it might have taken a little bit longer to get where we're at to now with the game that we're working on.
So when does this game come out?
So it's going to be coming out in September. Again, it's coming for PlayStation VR, Oculus, and Vive headsets.
Will we get to use the electric screwdriver, the sonic screwdriver?
Yeah, so you'll be able to see, if you look at the screen now, there we go, there's a sonic screwdriver, and he's just using that to open the car bonnet here so you can reach in and grab a battery.
And last question, because I have to ask it, favorite Doctor and why? Go.
David Tennant, because I think he had the right blend of kind of quirkiness, kind of little bit nutty, but pretty fun. And also he was the one that I grew up with, so he was my first Doctor when I was watching TV.